So growing up in the gym with your mom, watching her coach, watching the players that she coached, you talked about the fundamentals of the
Hmm.
game. Is that something that you still like you see how that's translated into your game today and into your play style and how you play the game?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, there are some times where I like will even think about like when we're doing drills and it's kind of like a fundamental drill, and some people are having trouble. I'm like, it's not like I'm not trying to look down on them by any means, but I'm like, oh, like I forget they haven't been doing this all their life. Like I've been doing it since I was able to dribble a basketball, watching the St. Agnes girls and doing the fundamentals with them. And that's why I'm lucky. Coach Hollinger, who still is the coach there, or the head coach, he would let me be able to like not jump in the competitive drills, but like with the basic ball handling and things like that, he would let me be in the drill and even like sit on the bench. Like from age 4, I was sitting on the varsity bench, so I saw how people were interacting. I saw how a team is supposed to look, and yeah, I was just say like my fundamentals obviously is a huge part of my game, and I think it shows. Especially when we play high level comp. Just kind of getting back to the basics. And that's kind of, I would give a testament to that. Like seeing growing up around that made it real easy to translate that over when I started playing actual AAU basketball.
I think it's one thing to like learn just consciously, like I guess like watching film or things like that, but it's a lot about the environment you're around. And so for you being around that basketball environment, being around your mom and her players that were, I mean, I'm sure very disciplined and we're
Yes.
getting after it during practice, like that you just kind of take after that subconsciously almost. So I
Hmm.
think that's really cool that you mentioned that. I mean, I during my research, like I did my research obviously, and I saw you kind of like in another interview or some post you were talking about how like you've gotten your competitive instincts from your mother and like just her instilling that win at all cost attitude, like desire to win. Where would you say like how did she how did she put that in you? Was it through playing against each other or her coaching you or training you? Like how did that kind of happen?
I would say so. My mom actually only coached me officially for 1 year.
Okay.
So I mean, of course, in that year, I did learn, to compete and things like that. But it was always just like games around the house, like in Uno. Like, I mean, she didn't care if like one 4 year old playing Uno for the first time, and she's like stacking plus fours on me, like skip reverse plus four. Like I'm like I don't even want to play anymore.
Yeah.
But also just like not allowing my cousins or even like them to take it easy on me. Like even at family gatherings, there may have been one game like the cousins are all playing and they kind of felt like they had to let me win, and she'd be like, "Why y'all letting him win? Like don't let him win, beat him." So like just kind of the competing, I guess, aspect of it against each other was really like a main thing that kind of got us, or not both, but kind of instilled that kind of competitive edge in me.
Yeah. That competitive edge, I think, I mean, people can see it now, like it's serving you well just in your journey and what you've been able to do thus far. But did it kind of pay off earlier on in your career, that competitive instincts, or did it take time for that to develop?
I would say it kind of did both in terms of like competitiveness. I would always feel so. Also, at the same time, being competitive, my mom also kind of tried to teach me humility, like be a gracious winner, or like even if you think you're better than somebody, like don't like try to kill their dreams, or not kill their dreams, but you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
I kind of was always more so of a timid kid. Like I played football, and like for instance, I love tackling. I hated getting hit though. Like I could every time they tried to put me on the offensive side of the ball, I would like be like, no, I don't want to play offense. Like they're like, we can use as a wide receiver. I'm like, nope, I don't want to do it. I don't want to get hit. So like but she was always like, like you don't have to be a nice guy on the court. Like you don't have to be a nice guy on the field. But it was just so ingrained and like and I would have clashes sometimes. Like in my heart, I'd be like, okay, I want to go tackle somebody, for instance, but then I didn't want to tackle them too hard because I didn't want to hurt them. But the competitiveness in me was like hit stick them, like make them fumble the balls. I would say those two, as like as a younger player, it kind of did kind of clash a little bit. I would say kind of my eighth grade year was when I kind of realized like, yeah, I can be kind, I can be nice, I can be kind of gentle, but like I don't have to do that on the basketball court. Like, especially like, because I feel like that was the year I kind of played a lot more top talent. And I think we would see that. Like, my mom would always say, like, whenever there was a big game or something on the line, you could see the competitiveness out me, like, throw away the kindness. Like, I wasn't worried about that because I wasn't getting really, I wouldn't say stimulated like that, but like, because I wasn't playing against that 24/7, I wasn't having to, like, I was a lot of times in Houston, especially on the in terms of the basketball when we play AAU, like our team was the best in the city. So even when we would play up in games, we wouldn't really face a challenge until maybe the championship game, and then that's where the competitiveness would take over. But eighth grade, being on May hoops, and being forced to play like Malik Boozers, um,
Hmm.
just guys like that, Cooper Flag, it did invoke the competitiveness out of me. Like I didn't want to lose because I didn't think I was any inferior to those guys.
For
And
sure.
that type of mindset just kind of took over. And I realized like, hey, like, I'm allowed to be competitive on the court. They aren't going to hate me because I was competitive on the court. I mean, honestly, like my teammates probably hate me more worse if I was like kind on the court to them. So to the other team. So that's kind of where I just kind of sectioned off like the on court Sebastian and the off court Sebastian.